Right. Today, I want to talk about having a body of work. Yes, you as a salesperson should have a body of work, something, even if it's only a few articles or a few videos or something. Six is enough, okay, to do something about it. Um, I've been doing this a very long time, and I've used having a body of work as a job hunting tool. I consider chasing want ads with resumes to be caveman job hunting tools. Okay. And there are ways to go about it that are so much better, more effective. Because if you're job hunting, you're marketing, right? And if you're a salesperson and you're in a crowded industry, especially, you're still kind of job hunting, and you're a marketing person in that realm, right? That's your role. You've got to market. And what is the first role of marketing? It's to stand out. You need to stand out. People need to see you, hear you, and separate you from the background, okay, from the noise. So having a body of work can help you do that. Now, the way I use this is in the job hunting world, and I've written a Kindle book about it, is to basically create a quick website with some blog articles, a couple of interviews, 2 or 3 interviews, and share some opinions and show that you've connected with some leaders in the industry there. And man, that's going to make you stand out. Of course, is that going to work with HR driven, slow, traditional organization that's using optical character recognition and pulling keywords out of resumes? Oh, I don't want to work for somebody like that. So no, it's not. But for a small to medium sized business where executives are still caring about who they work with and going through the effort of looking at actual resumes and material that people send them in the application process, yeah, it's going to make you stand out, because who else is going to do that? I was doing this. My first job as a plant manager when I was 25 years old. I was a factory manager. Okay. How many of you have done that? I got it by putting together the thing that Napoleon Hill describes in Think and Grow Rich, a brief. I don't know anybody else who has ever done that, who actually followed the directions and did the thing. I went to it was the UPS store. It was a private thing, and then it got bought out by them, and created Surlocks bound booklets with a nice cover and a window on the front and that kind of thing, right? Nice paper. Cost me $15 to $20, right? I had a portrait done and printed that out and glued it into the back, right? And I have my resume, my letters of reference, and other stuff in there. And that was back in 2000. Like, I was using this thing in 1999, folks. Okay, again, the instructions are right there in the book. Millions of people say they've read the book. Loads of my friends here on Facebook would say, or wherever we are, would say they've read the book. But what have you done with it? What have you acted on? All right. Like I said, I'm the only person I know who's actually followed the directions, put together a brief, and used it, and then updated it to be technologically matching with what we have today, right? Putting it online as a website. I mean, my first thing was when I moved to the US, 2010, was job hunting, was finally allowed to work, was a Google website, a Google site, free. I didn't know about hosting. I didn't know about anything back then. Okay. But I knew that if I put material up there, it would get me interest. And so I wrote a video, and I had one of my ex-sisters-in-law's school friends shoot it and edit it and put it up. And that video got me calls from presidents of defense contracting companies for years, for like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years after I posted that thing. They've stopped now that up by 2020, but I was certainly still getting them 2015, 2016, 2017. Okay. Calls. Why? Because it stood out. Okay. So what are you doing to stand out? What kind of body of work have you created? These videos are a body of work. Right? Some people have said, why don't you put them into a course? Because I don't think they're that great in terms of production value or whatever. I'm just turning the screen on and the camera on and talking. That's it. Okay. The lighting's not great. I don't look great. I come to you every day, whether I feel like it or not. I'm sick today. I don't freaking feel like doing this. I've been putting it off for a couple hours. It's 11 o'clock now, and I'm doing it. I finally thought of something I want to talk about. related to selling. Okay. Consistency is key. How are you being consistent? A body of work demonstrates consistency. I have a sales and marketing conversion blog at salestactics.org. That thing has been there since 2014. How many of you have been doing something consistently since 2014? Creating a body of work. I can point at that thing. I'm a sales and marketing expert. I say, well, great, Jason, I'll take you at face value, but really, no, here, look at my, oh gosh, I say 96, but there's well over 100 sales tactics videos that you can buy that I made in 2015 and 2016. They don't go out of style, folks. This is evergreen content. It always works, So when you've got a blog and a bunch of videos and all this other stuff, Kindle books, credibility, a body of work to point at, who can deny that you know what you're talking about? All they can do is stand there and bleat. He's a, fraud or just made it up or whatever, whatever. I can point to the body of work. Look, people come to me and go, well, I looked through your stuff. I listened to a couple of podcasts. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. They came and they told me this stuff, right? I didn't ask them to. And usually they hire me. Okay, so again, what are you doing to have a body of work? In a sales role, having an article to send to people or a course or a series of things to send to them, like these prospecting videos, right? I'm making them for Wes Schaefer's 12 Weeks to Peak program, not because he asked me to or whatever. They're just part of the to-do list, and I'm doing the to-do list because it gets results, okay? Consistency and accidentally almost creating a body of work, right? By doing this, it's a good series. I know that there's good content in here. Is it worth packaging it up and trying to sell it? I don't think so. But the goodies are good. The body of work is good. If you can put up with me, it's good, right? And that really, I want to go off on an aside here about courses and learning and stuff like that. The knowledge is out there, right? It's all over the place. Really, the question is, what teacher do you resonate with? Who do you resonate with who's presenting this material, whatever it is, biology, nuclear physics, Jason talking about sales and marketing, right? That you resonate with, that you can learn from, that you will learn from and go and apply. Okay, so I hope that you will start on creating a body of work today. Again, it doesn't need to be much, right? I think 2014, 2015, I interviewed my first space company vice president. He was vice president of business development for Planetary Resources. I found him through a blog that he had created, okay, talking about space stuff. And it was a private call. This was well before I started doing my show, the Cold Star Project, and talking to people and sharing this stuff, okay? This is a private conversation. And I asked him, I told him I found an email for you through your blog here. And he said, oh yeah, I created that to get this job, because he had no space experience, right? None. But he did have aerospace experience. So he created this blog with maybe 10 or a dozen articles on it to demonstrate he knew the subject matter. He had opinions about it, and he had a direction in mind of where to go when it came to this topic of space, and it was Asteroid Mining as the company. And so that just, again, I was like, that's exactly what I would do. That's awesome. Okay. So what are you doing to create a body of work? As a salesperson, I want you to think of having a deck of cards and you're playing a trick game or something like that, right? And you've got these cards, these trump cards that you can play. Oh, I said the T word, but not in the way that you might think. All right, because you can take the hand, right? Okay, so that's really the fun of having this stuff, is like somebody sees you as the authority, as somebody who actually helped them, as somebody who's out for them more than just, hi, I need to sell something to make a buck. Okay, I get a lot of mileage because I legitimately want to help people out of sharing stuff. I can give people a course. I can give people a $3,000 course if I want to. Okay, I can give people a video that is super relevant to them, because I've made hundreds of them, and I've got, I'm sure, some niche down thing that is specific to your area of inquiry, right, from my body of work. So again, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you going to do to create a body of work? And like, it doesn't have to be in all formats. You could pick one. If you're a writer, write. If you're a video person and you're comfortable appearing on camera, do this, right? If you're maybe, being a podcast guest never hurt either. That's a body of work when you collect them all together, right? When somebody sees you've been on like 8 or 10 or 15 or 20 shows, like I show on my website, it's undeniable that you must be interesting. You must have something of value to share, right? For that target market. Why else would people invite you? So anyway, I think I've ranted on long enough about that. But again, consistency. What have you been doing since 2014, right? Or 1999 or whatever, right? Since I first picked up my copy of Think and Grow Rich from the local, we still had bookstores back then, secondhand bookstores at 11th and Lonsdale or something. What an experience. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Maybe get some rest. I'll see you tomorrow.